Hey everyone, I saw the Mario movie, and it was pretty okay. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I like about it, but my gosh does this movie leave a lot to be desired. I should mention that this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, then I would suggest skipping this video for now, going to see the movie, and then come back to hear my thoughts on it. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then sure, keep watching if you want to. Now, going into this movie, I had really high expectations, which is something I couldn't really say about any other new-coming Illumination movie since, ever. I'm pretty sure y'all know about Illumination, and it's not so great quality output. Basically, every movie they put out either has annoying side characters, excessive pop culture references, a lot of immature and or unfunny jokes, and so on. These constant and tiresome elements kinda led me to not really get excited for any new Illumination movies that came out in recent years. I mean, every movie that came out after the first Despicable Me has felt like it's been mediocre at best, and other times have been just straight up bad. And part of me was kind of expecting the same thing from the Mario movie. Don't get me wrong, again, I was still really excited, yet still slightly cautious. I was just afraid I was going to have the same annoying elements and tiresome tone that any other Illumination movie had. I mean, can you blame me? Once again, Illumination doesn't have the best reputation of making actual good quality movies. With those worries in mind, I was still excited for the film. Looking at the trailers, I did really like the animation style they had, and I loved Jack Black as Bowser. And yes, even Chris Pratt's voice performance as Mario has in fact grown on me. I still don't really like it, but it's come to a point now where I can say I tolerate it. Oh god, that was hard to say. So yeah, I sat down in the theaters with one of my friends to watch the movie, and it was pretty okay. There's still so much to love about this movie, from the animation style to the references to other Mario games, etc. This was still a really fun time. But it's still not a perfect movie, so let's just get the bad stuff out of the way right now. First, and this is not just a problem with this movie, in fact all Illumination movies have this problem, but the score here is kind of a mixed bag. There is positive elements about the score that I will get to in a bit, but on the negative side, there is a few pointless pop songs that do play during a few scenes. Like the scene where Mario's training for his mission and I Need a Hero starts playing in the background randomly, and the scene where they're about to get into their go-karts and the Mario Kart theme starts to play, which was pretty cool. And then 30 seconds after that song plays, Thunderstorm starts to play randomly. Even the intro sequence to Con Island has Take On Me playing in the background. Again, this is a common problem with all Illumination movies, but this is still a pretty big problem here. The pop songs don't add anything to the story, or just don't even serve any purpose to it. They're just pop songs for the sake of being pop songs that are played alongside Mario-inspired music. So the two halves of the score don't mesh well at all, as they're part of completely different musics. The next problem I have with this movie is Bowser himself, not Jack Black's performance as him. He did an amazing job, and in my opinion had the best voice performance in the movie. But he's playing a character that I still have many issues with. I think these problems mainly come from his love obsession with Princess Peach. Now, hear me out. I don't hate this plotline on paper. In the video games, Bowser does have a love obsession with Peach. I mean, why else do you think he captures her every single game? But it still felt like he had an intimidating and cool presence. In the movie, however, I felt like they put way too much focus on his plotline. There is literally 2 scenes of Bowser showing his feelings to Peach by monologuing to himself or even singing to himself. But I don't think there was enough scenes that were showing him to be an intimidating or even a menacing villain. So by the time when we get to the climax where he is acting like a menacing villain trying to kill Mario, I don't really even feel intimidated by him because the intimidation didn't really feel like it was being built upon as the movie progressed. The beginning of this movie has the characters talking to Mario of how Bowser is this evil and psychotic monster. So why are we putting a lot more emphasis and focus on his love obsession and crush with Peach, rather than showing that menacing and intimidating self in nature? And it's not like it's not there at all. It's there in a few scenes, but I felt like it was overpowered by the love obsession plotline that they were going for with him and Peach. I also felt like the script felt a little unbalanced in the story department. There was just a few characters and plotlines I wanted more of, like Mario and Luigi's relationship. It's well explored and set up in the beginning of the movie, but then they're separated for almost the entire movie until the climax, so it felt like that their relationship didn't have the proper time to be developed. This is also when Luigi gets completely sidelined during the middle chunk of this movie, which really sucks. Even characters like Toad, who are there for the entire movie, kind of feel sidelined and feel like they have nothing to do, which again, kinda sucks. Another point is where Mario needs to go on this mission with Peach, but he's unexperienced in adventuring. So he takes this training course over a 5-minute training montage, which takes place overnight, and then all of a sudden he's ready to go on this mission. He was completely unready to go on this mission before, and then like an overnight training montage all of a sudden makes him ready for this mission. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense, sorry. Another thing is that I felt like there wasn't really enough tension in this movie. In the beginning, we see Bowser get the star, and we're told of how dangerous that really is. And also during the middle, Luigi's captured, but I felt like tension wasn't really built up because of two simple things. First of all, the star was completely forgotten about after it was introduced, and it wasn't really important until the climax at the end. And then Luigi has like 2 or 3 scenes of focus after he is separated by Mario. So these two plotlines felt like they were really underdeveloped and not given time whatsoever. I want to feel tension and urgency from them, but the movie doesn't really seem like it's interested in doing so. There's a few other things I can nitpick here, but long story short, the script does rush a few things with its plot lines and characters to move the story along. Now, with those complaints aside, let's talk about the good stuff, because there is still a lot of great things to love about this film.
The easiest compliment I can give to this movie is that it has a lot of heart to it. When it comes to the visuals, the score, when it's actually playing Mario music, or the sound design, and other references to other Mario games, those are all really top tier for this movie. The visuals and characters look like they were plucked straight out of the video games and put into movie format, and it looks incredible. The sound design also has sounds from the video games that complement the visuals that's what's happening on the screen, and it's really great. Like the scenes where they're traveling through tubes and it has the tube sound effect from the video game, or the power-up sound effect whenever a character gains a power-up. It's all really great. I know I kinda bashed the score a little bit, but when it plays the appropriate Mario music for the appropriate scenes, it is really, really great. Like the Mario Kart scene that plays during the beginning of the go-kart intro sequence, and the star theme that plays when Mario and Luigi gain a star during the climax. It's all really well done. Top that off with a few other references to other Mario games, and yeah, you can tell the filmmakers did a really good job of doing their homework when it comes to adapting the source material of the original games to movie format. The humor is also pretty solid. When it comes to slapstick or just a few jokes, the humor is actually pretty decent, and it's better compared to other Illumination movies. The characters are also really likable and are voiced really well. I like Mario as the protagonist, as he has a few funny scenes and he's actually has a nice arc. Not super deep or anything, but it's still a nice arc to have, so that's nice. I also like the side characters as they were pretty fun, and I liked seeing to go with Mario on this adventure. And again, the voice cast did a really great job, whether it be Jack Black as Bowser, Charlie Day as Luigi, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, etc. Overall, all these elements are really solid, and that's the thing with this movie. It has so many solid and great elements alongside a lot of things that could have been done better. It's so close to being great. If they had just tweaked a few things, like the score and the script up a little bit, then yes, this truly could have been great. In conclusion, I still had a fun time with this movie, but again, it still leaves a lot to be desired. Overall, I'm giving this movie a 6 out of 10, and you know what, if you are a true Mario fan, then yeah, I do recommend giving this movie a watch.